Shalom, Yashrala, Shalom. All praises to the Most High, Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, and mighty Shalom to the hopeful elect. And this is going to be a video in regards to, something that a lot of you brothers can apply on your daily walk. I had a brother I was talking to the other day, and he had asked me a question on what does it mean to be steadfast. And I sent him the scripture in the book of Psalms chapter 4 and 4. Let's get it real quick. All right, so this is the book of Psalms chapter 4 and verse 3. It says, "But know that Yahawah hath set apart him that is godly for himself. The Most High will hear when I call unto him. Stand in awe and do not sin. Commune with your own heart upon your bed and be still." Salah. And the verse that I had sent the brother when he asked me that question was verse 4, because, it says to commune with your own heart upon your bed and be still. Now, when you look at some of the other transliterations, it says meditate, right? You can see in the NKJV right there, it says, "Be angry and do not sin. Meditate within your heart on your bed and be still." And y'all can see some of the other translations, but the main point on that scripture is that whenever you're feeling certain things or you have certain emotions, you need to essentially meditate on your thoughts and be still, stay calm. Because ultimately, when you're not staying calm, you're in a state of what? You're in a state of chaos. And we understand that the Most High is not the author of what? Of confusion, but of order. So I'll give you, brothers, different scenarios. When you're very belligerent, when you're very angry and emotional and up and down and you don't know where you're going and you're asking all these questions, are you dwelling in order or are you dwelling in chaos? Now, let me give you another scenario. Let's say you're a brother, you're calm. You may deal with certain emotions and anger, but you have certain things that allow you to calm down, breathing, speaking out your thoughts, channeling that energy and those emotions into something. So that way, for the most part, you can remain calm. That is essentially being in a state of order. It's bigger than just, getting your money in order and, making sure your house is clean. Those things are important too, but the most important thing when it comes to this walk is that your mindset, you have to be in order, because again, your body is a conduit for what? For the spirit. And oftentimes when you get very emotional over things or you get very irrational over things, you allow strange spirits to come in and influence you through your emotions, through your lust, through your desires, that you get off a path when the spirit is meant to keep you grounded and keep you in order and align with the Most High and his will. So it's very important for y'all, especially a lot of y'all younger brothers, that y'all make sure y'all learn how to control your emotions, because you oftentimes make the worst decisions in life based off of your emotions. I want to get this other picture real quick for y'all. So this is just a little screenshot of when I asked the AI, what does it mean to be still according to the word? And this is the answer that it gave me. It said in Psalms 4 and 4, "Be still means to quiet your mind and your heart, reflecting on your actions and emotions, and to refrain from acting impulsively or sinfully, essentially taking a moment to calmly consider your situation before taking further action, especially when you're feeling angry or frustrated." And y'all brothers know, whenever you read throughout the scriptures, that, oftentimes the Apostle Paul, he would talk about how do not give a place for wrath. And that's the key point, man. People are going to provoke you, even outside of a spiritual context. When you were younger, a lot of y'all brothers been in relationships with women. What do women would oftentimes do, especially cantankerous women? They would try to provoke you to anger, say something to piss you off, test you to get you off your square, because, some of these women were demonic and they wanted to see you sweat. But oftentimes women do things like that to see how assured you are of yourself, to see how, resilient you are. Even companies, they test you in the face of adversity because they understand that things are not going to always be great. And a soldier is not truly shown and given his honor and stripes when everything's fine in a time of peace, but if he's willing to stay in a state of peace, even when he's dwelling in chaos. Brothers cannot run from the tests that allow you to become a great character. You have to learn to embrace these things, because ultimately, when you learn to embrace these things, you become used to those situations. Instead of you crying and complaining about, why is this so hard? Why does the world have to test me? Now you're like, okay, that's another test. I'm going to get through it. And even if I fall short, I can learn from this, so that way I can refine myself, so I can become a better person and I can walk with the Most High on a higher level. I actually get that in the book of James chapter 1. James, the servant of the Most High, and the Lord Yahawashi Mashiach, To the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greeting, my brethren. Count it all joy when you fall into diverse temptations, knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience. So again, when you're in these different situations where you have a lot of emotions, when people are trying to provoke you, because even a lot of times, bro, in your life, things happen in spurts. Like you might have an issue with your job and then boom, now your car is, dying, or, you might have like your battery might have died and things getting worse. And then you come home, you got issues with your family. You have to learn how to work patience in those moments, especially when you're in trying times, right? Verse 4, it says, but let patience have her perfect work, that ye may be perfect and entire, wanting nothing. If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of the Most High, that giveth to all men liberally, and upbraideth not, and it shall be given him. So essentially, if you lack the wisdom on how to be able to deal with certain things in life, or just in general, you pray to the Most High that he may give it unto you, right? But verse 6, it says, but let him ask in faith, nothing wavering. For he that wavereth is like a wave of the sea, driven with the wind and tossed. So essentially, when you're asking, when you have faith and when you want something in your life, you cannot waver on it. And again, oftentimes what happens to your plans or your mission or your ambition or your belief in yourself when you're being tested and you feel like things aren't going your way, just like a famous NBA player or, NFL player, you give up. You give up. Even when you look at the Super Bowl, when it was the Chiefs and the Eagles, the Chiefs gave up because they felt like, wow, even though they were telling themselves, oh, we're going to come back, they knew they was going to get their ass whooped. Because essentially, man, when things seem to be going against your odds and it's quote unquote just not your day, all those statements cause you to essentially start to waver. And when you brothers are living in your day to day and you have different situations like this, again, the Most High will oftentimes allow these things to happen so he can either prove whether you have faith or not. And if you're lacking in faith, allowing that to be a lesson for you to learn and build up your faith so you know how to handle those situations. There's a reason why when you sign up to the army or the military or whatever, they put you through basic training or shit like a Navy SEAL, where they put you through all these rigorous different activities and try to break down your mind and your body so that way you know how to operate in those situations. Because one thing that I just learned a couple days ago is that a person's true character is revealed in the times where things are coming at them. So if you notice in yourself that you're folding up and you're faltering when times get tough, that's a revealer of your true character. And you have to let that be an opportunity for you to be able to continue to grow and build yourself up. And I read verse 7, it says, for let not that man think that he shall receive anything of the Most High. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. And one of the aspects of being unstable is that you do not have peace. You're not able to be still. You're not able to stay calm within adversity, right? A lot of people in the world, they talk about meditate to calm your thoughts. Again, the scriptures tell us to meditate, but in a different way. Let's look at it. This is Psalm chapter 1 and verse 1. It says, blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the ways of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of Yahawah, and in his law does he meditate day and night. So in the delight of the law of the Most High, you will meditate day and night, meaning you will focus your mind on the Most High's word daytime and nighttime. Because when you start to meditate on the word and when you start to follow the word and have your focus on the word, you become as what? Let's go to the book of Matthew 7 and 24. This is Matthew 7 and 24. It says, therefore, whosoever heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them, I will liken him unto a wise man, which built his house upon a rock. And y'all brothers remember the story of the 3 little pigs. One pig built his house upon a straw. One pig built his house upon, I think it was sand or something like that. And then one pig built his house on what? I think it was stone. So whenever the wolf came and he blew the wind, what happened? The house stood. And a lot of those stories are analogies, whether it be for the occult, but also life lessons in real life. Because again, though I send you as sheep in the midst of the wolves, be as harmless as doves, or be as wise as a serpent, but as harmless as a dove. So again, we are sheep in a land of wolves. So we have to be built upon a house upon a rock. So that way these predators in this world does not envelop us in chaos, right? So it says, I will liken him unto a wise man which built his house upon a rock. And again, the rock also symbolizes having faith in Yahawashi. Your faith will not be moved when you're built on that foundation, right? Verse 25, it says, and the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat upon that house, and it fell not, for it was founded upon a rock. So when you look at this symbolically, parabolically, the rain is speaking about hard times. The rain is talking about potential people who are trying to harm you. You know, even when you go to the book of Revelation, chapter 12, I forgot what verse, where it speaks about the serpent cast out water as a flood. That wasn't talking about literal water. It was talking about soldiers that would be persecuting the elect, right? And it says, when the floods came and the winds blew and beat upon that house, and it fell not. And the wind is just symbolizing the tribulation, the turbulence when you're going through hard times. So when you have a mindset that's built upon solid faith and your mind cannot be shaken, you're going to still stand tall through the face of adversity, right? But verse 26, it says, and everyone who heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them not shall be likened unto a foolish man which builds his house upon the sand. And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat upon that house, and it fell, and great was the fall of it. So if you don't have true faith rooted in something that's going to stand the test of time, because what Yahawashi said, he said, heaven and earth shall pass away, but my words will never pass away. So when you put your faith on the word of the Most High, you will never be shaken. You will never be moved. And that's something that you have to be able to deal with, because you're going to be dealing with temptations, emotional, vitriol and things like that. And you got to be able to stand tall. So going back to Psalm chapter 4 and 4, when you learn to be still and calm your mind, that's when you become powerful. That's when you start to have greater faith, and you're able to deal with the adversities of the world, and you don't allow a place for what? Let's go to Matthew 4 and 1. Speaking about Yahawashi, as y'all know, Yahawashi, after he was baptized by John and he received the Holy Spirit, he then went into the wilderness to be tempted by Shaitan, or Satan. So essentially he says, then was Yahawashi led up of the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted of the devil. And when he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, he was afterwards a hunger. So Yahawashi went through a tribulation period, because for 40 days and 40 nights, he essentially severed himself from, earthly substance, whether it be water, food, whatever it may be. And afterwards, what happened? He was hungry. So a lot of his carnal flesh was coming into him, telling him that he needed to eat, that he needed to give in and feed his flesh, right? Verse 3, it says, and when the tempter came to him, he said, if thou be the Son of the Most High, command that these stones be made bread. So essentially when Satan came in and he knew that he was weak in his flesh, what did he do? He was trying to get him off the path of walking in the Spirit. You see what I'm saying? So just similar to the walk that Yahawashi did, we all go through the same baptism of him, the baptism of suffering, the baptism of tribulation, right? And you have to be able to stand fast, whether you're up and you're going great, or whether you're being tempted and you're weak and your flesh is weak. You got to be able to stand tall in them situations and not fall down, not get caught up in your flesh. You see what I'm saying? Also, let's go to Ephesians 4 and 23. This is the book of Ephesians chapter 4 and 26. It says, be angry and sin not. Let not the sun go down upon your wrath, neither give place to the devil. So when you're in a state of wrath, you give place to who? Satan, because he tests you. He oftentimes enters into your mind through emotion, and then that's what causes you to get those bad ideas or those bad thoughts. And next thing you know, you got to do killing a nigga that he never thought he would kill. You got to do beating up his girl that he would never beat up, or just all type of crazy things, because these people couldn't control their emotion. That's why when you see people losing their mind and they just start being frantic, it's because they're being possessed by something. They're being possessed by a spirit to do things that if they were in their conscious mind, they would never ever do on their own. And that's why when we come into the times when the economy gets very chaotic, and when things eventually collapse, a lot of people who typically function normally are going to go insane and lose their mind. And you have no clue what these people are going to do, because they're going to allow the spirits, these deceiving and evil spirits, to come into them, and there's going to be no telling what may happen in them days. So I want to end it on Galatians 5 and 22. It says, but the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance. Against such there is no law. And they that are Hamashiachs have crucified the flesh with the affections and lusts. If we live in the Spirit, let us also walk in the Spirit. So one of the fruits of the Spirit is what? Peace. Having a peace of mind, right? Long suffering, being able to suffer long and not lose faith and not lose hope in what you already believe in and understand to happen. Also, faith, you see it right there. And then lastly, temperance, being able to control yourself, have self-control and restraint, throughout all situations. So Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. I'm going to give our praises to the Most High Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. Until next time, it's your brother Ash Abbas.